Hey, I'm Em from Survival Guide. I have a few things coming up soon. I have a venue show at 502 Bar in San Antonio on Saturday, October 12th. On the 19th, I am releasing a cocktail recipe book that goes along with my album Death Dreams, which I would love for you to go and listen to. It's called Death Drinks. It's a companion to my album. All of that can be found on my website, srvvlgd.com. You can find me on Instagram at Survival Guide Music. You can find me on Twitch. My handle there is Survival Guide Music. Same thing on YouTube. And here's the show.
Thee Stool Podcast.
What do we want?
Mickstradamus! Dad, who the hell are these assholes?
You guys are so mean. Those kids are real losers. We don't want your music.
You're their forfeit.
You guys are so embarrassing.
To win any motherfucker always be funny.
Nice work, you dunce.
What's up, guys? We back. Thee Stool Podcast. What, number 23?
23 episodes.
Episode number 23 in the books. Sheesh. I like it.
Very special episode.
Very special episode. This is going to be a nice. We got a nice guest in not in studio, but over Zoom today. Anthony, talk to him. Say who you are.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to the Stool Podcast. We are here today, our first Zoom episode. First big guest for over Zoom, and then our first actual successful Zoom, I would say, right?
I think it's working.
Pretty big. Let me introduce
Mick first, and then and we'll go back to. I got it.
Okay, yeah,
got
Mick.
you.
There he is,
Mick.
What's up, guys? I'm Mick. Good to be here. Good to see you guys. How you doing? Yeah, dude.
Hey.
I was literally trying to introduce her.
Well, no, you threw it to me like
I was throwing it to you guys, throwing it to myself.
Well, let's jump the shark.
All
then.
right, hey, come back
Introducing Emily Whitehurst, a.k.a. Agent M, or just M, from Tsunami Bomb, from Survival Guide, the action design, lots of very awesome, very influential projects. Very cool to have her here. Go ahead and talk about yourself a little bit.
Hello, that's me. I'm M. I'm here to talk for a while about whatever we end up talking about. And I'm stoked to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Appreciate you, Ann, for coming through. Kick it back to me, Mick, because you guys just skipped over me. Hey, my name's Johnny, a.k.a. JonnySavag. Appreciate everybody watching. Like Anthony was saying, we got a very special guest today, Em. We're going to have some fun, guys. We're going to talk about some music. Obviously, she's got tons and tons of experience, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping to pull a little bit of nuggets out of her head so I can learn some things, because you have a successful Twitch stream, successful music career, your Patreon's working. I was looking at it earlier today. I'm like, man, she's got everything moving all in the right ways and right parts of the music working. So I'm excited for this. So let's just get into it. So Em, music? You want to go music first?
I'm into that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go music. So you brought a song for us to check out, because that's part of what this podcast is. We like to listen to new music and share music with each other. We usually bring a song to share, whether it's fun, cool, like a new trendy song, anything like that. We kind of bring. So you brought which song? Is it Parasite?
Coach Party.
Yes. I brought Parasite by Coach Party.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it last year. The album came out last year, and it was one of my patrons actually suggested it to me, and I watched this music video first and was like, it's pretty cool. I want to look into more, and their album that this is on has a lot of variety on it, kind of like my album does in a way.
Nice.
Like it's just I really enjoy when artists when they switch up their style. Right. From song to song. And that's what Coach Party did with their album. So
yeah, we definitely need to see more of that kind of stuff. Eclecticity, you know, in like a whole album as opposed to just like singles from people. You know,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Mick are big fans of that with the Dunce. We try to mix it up like crazy. You know, we use a little bit of all of our influences, you know.
I like that you're playing Django Reinhardt in the background there in the intro.
That's right. Gypsy jazz for life.
That's Mick for sure right there. Okay, let's listen to this Parasite by Coach Party. Let's check it out.
Oh, wow. That's more intense than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Wait a second. Right off the bat, that is like so grabby.
Yeah, it's right in your face, like right in there. And it's I would say it's like very straightforward, simple, kind of like, you know, instrumentally, but like just the way the vocals are produced is just like, okay, like I'm in.
Definitely grabbed my attention, that's for sure. I like these type of vocals that are very like aggressive with a lot of distortion.
You know what I kind of, in my own head, I classify it as is Scott Pilgrim rock.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that kind of, it's like, I feel like it's that very, you just have the three-piece, you know, a bass, a guitar, and they're all just super distorted, super gainy, and then you have the vocals super gainy, and it makes a great sound. It makes a cool sound. I like it so far a lot.
Didn't, what you call it? Anamanaguchi, right? I think it was Anamanaguchi. They made like they're like an 8-bit rock band. They're really cool.
Anamanaguchi?
They did a Scott Pilgrim soundtrack.
Oh, okay. That was
really
who did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I wasn't from, I know the songs from the movie, and that's like immediately like that heavy, like very snappy bass tone is what reminds me of Scott Pilgrim.
Her vocals kind of remind me of, you know, you guys heard of Melt Banana? It's just really in your face, like, I like that.
You say Melt?
Yeah.
Melt Banana. You guys ever heard them?
Mm-mm.
Okay, we'll bring that up later.
Ironically, I've heard of a band called Metallic Banana. It's a different,
this is a different band.
Close name, but different band.
Close. I think they're from Japan, I want to say. Something like that. They're really good. Crazy. Let's listen to this. We have to keep on, you know, pausing it and stuff for YouTube. Turn that up a little. There you go. Is it too loud on your side, or are you good?
It sounds terrible to me.
It sounds terrible?
I'm so sorry.
Snap.
Like distorted?
It's just cutting in and out. Like I can't really hear it.
So it's doing the same thing.
That's the Zoom shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's a Zoom thing.
Yeah.
It's a Zoom setting or something.
Yeah. It's a work in progress.
But I mean, I know the songs.
She's like, I'm using my imagination right now. And
Yeah. I can hear, it's like it's playing very far in the background, just little pieces of it.
Okay, cool. So what you're saying is we're setting up like a festival vibe for you right now. Like, you feel like,
Exactly.
You know, in the
I'm like 1 mile away, there's a band that maybe I want to listen to. I don't know.
Well, it sounds kind of cool for me way over here, but I don't know.
I do like that kind of stuff. I really, it's not the stuff I listen to on my day-to-day just because I'm a two-dimensional listener more so than I think. But but yeah, no, I like that kind of stuff. I do. Mick brings me to that kind of genre a lot. Mm-hmm. He kind of brings that kind of stuff my way. Queens of the Stone Age-y, I don't know, that kind of genre.
I see that.
Right. I see that a little bit. That's pretty cool. I like that. So we do got some questions for you, you know. Great song, by the way. Good choice. Yes, we got some questions.
Thank you.
We got some questions. Just, you know, we want to get a little bit of your background and kind of like just, you know, pick your brain, like I said earlier. And we want to know more about you, you know, and what you do. So just first of all, just tell us what you do right now, currently. What is the thing that you do? You do a lot of things. What I realize, your link tree or website is like, it's like a bunch of things on there, which is great.
Renaissance woman.
Yeah. Let's hear a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to do it all because I'm, you know, a full-time musician. So I have a Twitch channel going, like you said. I stream there it's really fun. It's like I'm using Twitch to kind of just become a better musician. And it's also an opportunity for me to play the old Tsunami Bomb songs that people want to hear.
That's cool.
Which is really fun. So I basically have a list of songs that you can choose from, and people will request songs that I have learned. And so I'm accompanying myself on bass or piano. And I'm not extremely good at either of those things. So it's always just kind of a fun way to improve while also building community at the same time, which is super fun. I have a Patreon going, which has so many aspects of maintenance that I do constantly. Like today, before this podcast, I did a stream there where I am like a DJ and
nice.
play my own like playlist of songs. It was previously with an actual vinyl setup, but I don't currently have. I switched houses, so I don't have a record player in here right now. But that's just one example. For Patreon, I also record birthday songs for people.
Oh, that's cool.
And send those out. Yeah, it's like I've written a bunch of different birthday songs. And
are you having a lot of fun doing that? That's good. I feel like that would be a lot of fun. Like people requesting.
Am I what?
Are you having a lot of fun doing that? I feel like that would be a lot of fun. People requesting individual songs, and then you get to write a song for them and send it to them, and know that they have this individual thing.
Oh. Yeah. I did do one of the rewards was doing recording a cover song for people. I hadn't mentioned that yet, but I had to pause that because that got like overfilled with like too many people wanted it, which is awesome. But I ended up having to record like 35 cover songs or more.
Oh, wow.
And it was a lot. It was a lot for me, especially because I had to learn how to do that, how to record myself. I've just kind of been on this solo path of like, well, if there's something blocking me, I guess I just need to learn how to do it and then start doing it. And it's not going to be good at first, but it'll get better.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's kind of incredible because it's just almost like, you're flying by the seat of your pants there and you're just like, all right, well, I'm going to try to do this thing. And then it blows up, not, like in a bad way, it blows up in a great way. People are incredibly supportive of it. And then that just also kind of gives you, this motivation to try to want to do it and kind of keep going with it. And the drive to learn how to, like you said, learn how to do it from the ground up like that, just all in-house, I'm assuming. Do you record with other people or do you record with what you have or?
For the cover songs and for the birthday songs, I record myself and I just record with the gear that I have. I did not record my own album. That was done very professionally, but yeah, I had to, for the covers and the birthday songs, I had to learn how to do a better job of recording myself with my own gear. Although there are a few songs where I have like a friend send me a guitar track or something. But for the most part, all the covers that I did are just instruments or plugins that I used.
Nice. That's very cool. That's very cool. It just shows you.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, so you do Twitch. What else do we got? Patreon. Continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Twitch, Patreon. Well, I mean, there's live shows. I would like to do more of those.
Yes.
I have not been. That's one thing that I haven't excelled at is booking myself.
Oh.
I really hate doing it. So that's a thing that I need to do more of. What else? I'm coming out with a cocktail book. I don't know if you guys knew that or if you saw my post yesterday.
Yeah.
I just announced it yesterday.
Yes, I did see that. That's cool. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. We got the scoop right now. We got the exclusive. Talk all about it.
Yeah. So I the album Death Dreams came out almost a year ago.
Great album, by the way.
Oh, thank you. And it, over the course of, it actually, the idea sort of formed in a Twitch conversation with my Twitch community, which I feel like is really cool.
Nice.
I enjoy making cocktails at home and just experimenting with them.
Mm-hmm.
And something, I don't remember exactly what it was, but something triggered the idea of creating a drink to go along with a song. And I realized that cool. I could do that with every song. Like it was really fun, and it wasn't difficult to sit down with my own songs and the lyrics and just the feel of each song and the music videos, and decide, what kind of drink I feel like would go with this, and what do I mention in the song that could be an ingredient, or that gives me some sort of direction with the recipe. And people seemed excited about it, and it just seemed like a ton of fun. So I decided to go ahead and create an entire book of recipe. It's as far as cocktail recipe books go, it's like, it's going to be practically a pamphlet, because there's only 11 songs
how many
on the
songs
record.
are you doing? But yeah, that's honestly one of the coolest, most creative ideas. I'm an experimental musician myself. I did an album a couple years ago where I was accompanied with a homemade comic book that I made, and I love doing stuff
cool.
like that, and kind of creating like whatever weird extra experience you can for a record. That's one of the coolest ideas. Just imagine on a Friday, like, you have this, to accompany, I'm going to listen to this song, I'm going to make this cocktail, and it's like a double vibe. I don't know how else to explain that. It's really cool. That's awesome.
And we like to drink, so that's perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect.
Is there any whiskey favorable ones in there? Because I'm a whiskey drinker. I like whiskey. I drink it straight.
There's at least 2. I mean, there's only a total of 14 cocktail recipes, but
14.
2 of them, I think. I tried to really disperse all the base alcohols evenly, roughly, over the recipes.
Yeah, I like that.
Very cool, man. That's so cool. When do you think that you have a timeline for when that might be coming to fruition, or?
I'm finishing it up right now, and it's coming out on the 19th.
Of this month?
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very
birthday month. Both of us are October birthdays. You want to buy it for each other?
Yeah. I'll buy you one, you buy me one. Let's do it.
It is.
Yeah, my birthday's on the 18th, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
So, nice.
So just because yours is closer to the day it comes out.
Makes sense.
Great.
Then we gotta, when we buy them, it is okay if we make those drinks and try them right here on the pod next pod.
That'd be awesome.
You know what I'm saying? That'd be cool.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool for the Halloween show.
Yeah, we'll do it for the Halloween show
with Adam Gomez.
Yeah,
Let's
please
do that.
do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You could make a blood perfume.
Blood perfume.
Oh, that's a good song. Let me tell you something.
It's a whiskey based.
Perfect, because that was my favorite song on that album. Because I thought it was cool because it kind of so that album, I was listening to it, and it has like a mixture of genres, right? Because you like to experiment. But on that song specifically, I'm a huge Deftones fan, along with Korn and everything. I'm a big Korn fan. And so I feel like you kind of had like a little bit of Chino-esque style vocals on there, which I thought it was really cool. Yeah. I was
awesome.
Whoa. I was like, that kind of like Chino-esque right there. I like that. Yeah, it was a really cool song. So I'm going to try that one.
And it really does speak to how awesome the concept is. Yeah. Because you said beforehand you're a whiskey drinker, and without her even knowing, you connected to that song. So it says that she captured that vibe.
That's crazy.
That vibe got captured,
I made the perfect drink for you to go with your
I
favorite
can't wait.
song.
I got to try it out. I like that.
Can I segue into one of my questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I think that's a good spot just because we were talking about, how she was singing and stuff. So throughout your career, all your styles of singing and the way that, punk rock singing goes, like the fast, fast paced kind of like really upbeat singing. What's your favorite way to sing? What's your favorite way to sing? Like, how do you think your voice is like best? Your favorite style of singing?
My favorite style is definitely belting as loud as I can.
Top of your lungs.
That's the most emotion.
Yeah, exactly. It just feels the best, I think, to be singing really loudly and strongly for me. And with the first Survival Guide record, I kind of intentionally was trying to get better at singing softer, and realized, like, I mean, that's cool and everything, and I do like it, but I also really enjoy singing loudly. So hopefully that answers your question in full.
Yeah, no, you killed it. Awesome. So, I mean, that being said, like, what when it comes to writing music, like with your like instrumentation process and how you're putting together, like you said, sometimes you have to play bass or you have to play piano, or how does that affect how you write vocals, and knowing you have to, do this and that at the same time? Like, does it change how you write parts, or do you just kind of like, no, I'm going to write the best thing that I could write and then try to get to be able to play it?
Yeah. So Death Dreams is the first music that I've ever written completely by myself. It sounded like I said written.
Written. We can edit it out. We'll bleep it.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, take two.
No, go ahead.
So yeah, that's the first music I've ever written by myself. And I decided, I thought about that specifically beforehand, having the sole responsibility of writing all of the music and also being the vocalist. And I decided to go really easy on myself and write the music however it came out, and write the vocals that went the best with that music, and just deal with it later. And it has proven slightly problematic at times now that I'm trying to, actually play the songs, but I don't regret it. I think I probably will do that again.
Yeah, I think that's a good move. I think it turns out great results. That's crazy to, so when it comes to writing stuff, I mean, I think that's super fascinating, trying to, like you said, you're jumping into doing everything on your own. What is that more or less like, what does that look like? Do you start with the drum ideas or piano melodies, or what would take us through, like, at least, like, let's say pick a song and then how you wrote it, I guess.
Well, maybe you should pick the song, because I wrote them all differently pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
well, perfect. Let's do this. Let's pull up Lady Neptune and let's go with that song. That's the song you wanted to share with us.
Sure.
Let's pull that up and let's see. Let's pick it apart a little bit, because that's what we do here a lot. Is kind of go through a song and like kind of see what that song was to you and how you came about writing that. Let's do that.
For the listener, let's remember that she hears nothing good on her end.
Oh yeah, sorry. She knows her song though.
She knows it.
Yeah.
She knows
Yeah.
it.
We're trying.
How about we pause the video and then have her do an a cappella version right here?
Yeah, let's do that. All right, go ahead, Em.
I was joking.
I'm just playing.
Go ahead, play it.
I could definitely groove to this. I was listening to this song earlier.
She comes between us, but we can't see it. Scratching with pins and needles, saying the perfect words. Up overhead.
Nice video too. It looks clean. A lot of cool B-roll shots.
I was about to say that's like it reminds me. It's got like that early '90s, but also like emulating the '80s vibe. That's the way I would say it.
especially with the streamers, the silver streamers coming down. Yeah.
Yeah, total
Yeah, like prom.
man, you beat me to it. I was gonna say total high school prom vibes. I keep saying vibes, and I don't know why.
I know Anthony knew who he wanted to take to prom, but let's keep listening. A Beamer, I like that. Is that your actual car right there?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like, she's doing pretty good. We got to pick her brain a lot.
Now, quick question: Do you know everyone in this video, or are these just like actors?
Well, this was done at through a video production company, and at this point, I had already made the first video with them. I made Blood Perfume with them too. So, so they're not actors, but I didn't know them until I made the first video.
Oh, so they're reoccurring.
They're
employees.
like
in your network.
Oh, they're employees.
Of the
Essentially.
video production company. Like the woman that gets out of the car, I think she's one of the owners of the company.
That's
smart.
fascinating.
Yeah.
In-house, that's how you do it.
Smart, Mick.
It was super fun.
I'm already picking up nuggets, Mick. So every video we shoot for other people, we can be in it. That's
You
what she's
could.
saying.
That's why they call me.
Cast yourselves.
That's not bad.
That's why they call me the digger, dude.
Not bad. Not bad.
Now that's real money, right? That's definitely real money.
Damn.
It's the
a lot of
shoot.
real-
They gave it
lot
to
of
you
real
after
stuff
the
in this
shoot.
video.
Like here, just like take it.
So all you gotta do is continue to do your music career, guys. You will have a Beamer, you'll have a suitcase full of money, and you'll be good. Yeah, as long as you're doing what M is doing, Patreon, Twitch, have their website, have your merch. Your merch site looks really good too, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I have a question about merch for sure.
Yeah. This is good. I like this song. So real quick question. So you're saying you write this type of music is real calm, chill. It has a nice vibe to it. It's like a little dancey a little bit, but you rather be belting. You rather be singing out there at people.
Well, I thought in that question, I thought it was like not the music style, but the singing style that we were talking about.
Got you. Yeah.
So there are songs on here that, I mean, this one has a little bit of belting in it. Not too much. But yeah, I mean, were we was I incorrect?
No, you're right. You're right. I was just kind of going off of it.
I think Johnny was just saying that because Johnny, here's the thing: is he has this whole thing, and I don't know if this is going to be offensive to you or not, but he differentiates
Offend me. It's okay.
certain stuff. He likes bands like Korn and like very new metal, masculine
deathcore
bands, and then me and Mick, we love that kind of music, but also we love pop punk. Obviously, we were raised on a lot of new wave stuff, and Johnny likes to refer to all of that as girl music. And
so check this out. So these guys like to put me into like the villain category.
No.
Because I do say some music is girl music, right? I do like Chiodos maybe.
But I think what's happening here is like the way, for example, I could hear how like throughout this song, like she's like really, there's parts in her vocal performance where she's like pushing and things like that, where she's talking about like, oh, this is an example of, her belting or whatever. But
I get it.
But yeah, you like, I think you're referring to like a band, like, I don't know, like what was it, like Ginger we refer to as like, it's like heavy music, fast music.
I'm not talking about just screaming, but like, kind of like a yell sing or like, that's what I thought.
That's what you mean.
I misinterpreted then.
It's your misinterpretation.
It's my mistake.
Short answer is this is all Johnny's fault.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just to let you know, I am not offended by that.
Good.
But I feel like, I don't know, like because I've some of your other stuff is very soft and it's literally just you and your piano and I could hear that differentiation in your kind of just, I don't know, what is it, like a whisper tone? I don't really know the actual, but you
A
sing like
falsetto,
that.
probably.
You sing like that versus when you're really projecting. And, that's one thing that's really cool that I would say about all of your music. And actually, that actually segues into another question. But your Survival Guide music, I would say, out of all of your project is the most diverse, and you just kind of you could tell you have fun with it. You write what you want. That, like, being said, would you say that, like, punk rock in general is like a kind of limiting genre when it comes to writing music?
Yeah, for sure. That's the main reason why I have progressed over the years, is that, with Tsunami Bomb, I had already been in a 2 punk bands before Tsunami Bomb. And then I was in that band, and we did 2 full albums plus a couple of 7-inch records.
Are you talking about, is it Plinky? Okay.
He knows all your music.
Yeah.
I know some of your music.
No, he knows all of it. He knows every single song, album.
I actually released the tapes of my first band, like from high school, on Patreon. So,
oh wow, okay, that's very cool.
That's
exclusive. Make sure you timestamp that. Timestamp that so that people see that in the clip.
So yes, to answer your question, I totally felt like after having written that much in Tsunami Bomb, it was kind of like, well, I'm feeling like I would really like to do more. I would like to have the ability, and admittedly, because I have thought about it a lot over the years, I think I was also limiting myself. Like, there are certainly bands like AFI, for example, or, other bands where they stick with the band and they change the sound and they progress and they just deal with all of the haters, And I think part of it to me was like, I can't handle when people are so mean about, just like the way that people will just turn on a band. I think that happened a lot in punk rock too, where people would just start hating a band for changing.
I feel like a lot of punk bands kind of went the route of like pop punkish. They started off with like really, grindy punk, and like Newfound Glory is one of the examples, because their old first albums are like very punk, and then they kind of went to that pop punk, like, and that's where people started hating.
I think just to relate it to the question and her answer a little bit, that's kind of like where it's like, how can we have the conversation about it that way, where it's like, instead of this band is just writing songs,
right.
You know what I mean? They're writing songs and they're kind of, nebulously in this style,
right,
versus the idea of like, okay, well, it's not exactly the way this, it's not the same BPM, or what is it that makes those differences for the listener? It's like, it's not happy enough. It's not sad enough. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, this is a bunch of dudes, bunch of musicians or females or whoever is in the band writing songs for you.
Right.
Why does it matter what style they turn out? I don't understand that. It's a weird thing for me. It's always been a weird thing for me. I do agree with
that, because Korn's my favorite band of all time, and they kind of went that route. They went a little bit more poppy, and I still dig it, but a lot of people hate it. I'm like, bro, it's still cool. It's just a different version of that band. Like, they progress, and like, they don't want to write the same thing over and over, so they're going to change it up. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, no, I personally, like, there's bands like Enter Shikari that I always quote, like, it's like a big band that I love just because they love,
it's a good girl band. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But,
I'm just messing.
No, but I like how they push the boundaries of what you're supposed to listen to. I know there's songs that the first time I hear it, I feel like almost, I don't get it. At first, I'm like, I don't get this exactly. And then you listen to it a couple more times and like, okay, cool. This is a band that challenges me to understand them. And then by the end of the day, I love that song. Yeah. And I've grown my tastes.
Right.
And I've grown as a listener. I think we're lacking a lot of that. And I think like the bullet point of, my whole speech here is that we need more artists doing that. We need more eclecticity in music, and not just like, all right, here's the formula, here's how this works, and then sell it.
I do agree with that. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Cool. So I don't know. You got any questions? I got more questions.
Well, so you're saying, because you said you play bass and you play. I was watching your last live stream where you're playing a lot of bass. I'm a bass player, so I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, but, like all distorted and everything. It's really cool. So my thing was like, what was your first instrument that you played that you first started off with? Was it vocals? Was it an actual instrument, or not an actual? I shouldn't say that. Vocals is an instrument, but is it an instrument, string instrument, or keyboards, vocals, and like how many instruments do you play?
So the first thing I ever did was I had piano lessons when I was like 8 or something, but not for very long. It was really boring. I did not like that at all as a child.
Punk rockers don't like lessons.
No, I kind of really hated that. I kind of wish that I hadn't hated it, because I didn't learn very much.
Yeah, the irony of wanting to avoid the schooling of doing something, that's the whole credo. And then still it's like, all right, well, I got to learn.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't really count that as my first instrument. The first thing that I did was I was a vocalist in a punk band in high school. And then our bass player left the band to go to college, so I took over on bass.
Okay.
That is the whole story.
Nice.
Oh, but you said how many
instruments after that? Yeah.
I mean, that's about it. I tried taking a guitar lesson. I did not like that, but like as an adult, like a few years ago, I did not enjoy that at all. And so yeah, I've got the piano here, and I have a pan flute, a plastic pan flute that I play. But I certainly don't consider myself a pan flute player.
Just about to ask, who's your favorite pan flute influence?
I mean, it's got to be Zamfir. Right? He's the one.
Yeah.
I also was gifted an automaton. So I have that too.
Okay.
And I have a ukulele. I want to learn how to play it, but I have no idea how to play it yet.
Yes, I've been wanting one too.
Will you be plugging that into your distortion pedals as well, or?
It's not a plug-in kind, I wish.
So speaking on the topic of bass, not too long ago, Johnny sold me a Hartkey bass amp, and that bass amp is currently broken. Emily, do you have anything to say about that?
Wait a minute. You said it was working.
I want to hear what she has to say about that.
Wait, so he loaned it to you, and it was
no, I bought it from him. I paid him the money to pay. He knocks he knocks $50 off the price, but I really have to work with it to get it working. How would you feel about that?
I would feel pretty bummed about that.
You hear that, Johnny?
See, you're just trying to get
bummed out M. You hear what you did?
See what I'm saying, Em? They try to make me out as the villain.
We definitely do. And to be clear, the bass amp works fine. I just wanted to throw him under the bus, because when I showed up to pick it up, he was like trying to get it working and stuff.
I was doing everything in my power.
It was the cables that you had. I think both of them were fucked up.
Something.
But I got it working fine. I just wanted to give him a hard time. That's what we do on this podcast. We razz each other, that kind of stuff. But yeah.
But it works fine. And real quick, the story behind that is funny story. Well, not really funny, but
I don't think anybody cares. Let's
real quick. My band, we played like a 3-day run out in Bakersfield. So we drove from over here to like LA area all the way to Bakersfield, and I forgot my head.
Ooh.
And I realized when I got there that I forgot it. Also, all my hookups, everything is connected to that head, So I had my pedal, which was good because I use one pedal, and it's a dark glass, so it works fine. It works for everything, but I didn't have plug for it, so I couldn't plug it in. So I literally had to go use somebody's equipment the first day, and the second day, straight to the Guitar Center to buy a head. I bought that head. I was going to return it, and this guy said, "I'll buy it." So you know what? His fault.
It's my fault. It is my fault. Most things in my life that go wrong are my fault. So I'll
So
take
there's
that.
nothing wrong with it, though. That's the bottom line, right?
It takes a minute to warm up.
warms
so I'm
up.
worried about the tubes in it. So I could replace that pretty easy. But it's overall I can manage. I can manage.
I gave you $50 off, and I gave you
$50 off is pretty good.
You know how much that cab is worth that I gave you though?
Yeah, that's the other part. So
You see that?
I'll take it.
I gave him like half off that cab.
The bullet point is Johnny is a good guy. That's the bullet point.
Yes, I just want
Overall,
to make sure you know
you're
that.
still a good guy.
But Anthony is a great guy. Just so you know, great guy over here. Okay, let's. You got another question?
I do have more questions. Let me see. Okay, so when you we'll wrap up the Tsunami Bomb questions. We'll move on to other stuff. I just want one last Tsunami Bomb question. One thing that stuck out to me about you as a band, you guys, you had like a kind of like a darker sound as a punk band. There's some bands that they have like especially in that like kind of like faster like punk stuff, they have like it's just too it's like upbeat and happy. It just comes off as like party music or something. You guys had this like brooding quality to you. What would you say you contribute that to? Like would you say that there was a concerted effort to sound darker or
Yeah, I think that we, as a group, we were definitely influenced by AFI a lot at the time. And they had released the All Hallows EP and Black Sails. And I think also being in the North Bay, it was kind of like that was what punk was like in the North Bay.
Okay.
It just was kind of like what we were into and what we were surrounded by.
So you guys were
punk.
just
there
the
wasn't
best
a
at
ton
it.
Of punk. Sorry, what was that?
No, I'm sorry. I was just saying, so you guys were just the best at it in the area.
I mean, I think AFI did it better. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, you think? Or you know.
It's not like they're huge or anything.
They're not. No, I would say they're like a mid-level.
They're pretty big.
They're mid-level.
They're pretty big.
Mid-tier.
They're like mid-tier to
huge.
high.
Mid-tier huge.
Mid-tier
This
huge.
is where we get into all that nebulous language that people like to use these days.
Right.
All the hyperbole. Yeah, no, we're a little big. We're a little big. You know. But yeah, I'm sorry. Continue.
I was just going to say they were always bigger than Tsunami Bomb, though. As they got bigger, as we got bigger, they got exponentially bigger.
Yeah, no, they are some of the gods of that. You know, that genre or that scene of music. They are really some of the all timers. You know,
right. But are they on the Stool Podcast? I think not. No, I'm just we're big. No, you're bigger than us. Go ahead.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, like I said, I to me that as you know, when I was getting into this kind of music and forming my relationship with writing music and learning how to be a musician and kind of similar to your story where it's like you're forced to play this instrument or this or that, or you just love singing and then you love the music that you listen to. That's just the stuff that I gravitated towards. You know, I really gravitated towards the AFI, that the like I said, the darker, you know, spookier end of the punk rock scene. And you know, I don't know. I would say I more or less wouldn't be the musician I am if not for, because I mean, I could have just totally just been in a Blink-182 cover band. Little fun fact, you know, me and Mick, that's kind of one of our first projects, is we would just cover Blink-182 songs, you know, and and to me, I could have just very easily done that. But the thing that I started falling in love with was, you know, really branching out, blending stuff, recording weird sounds and being like, all right, we got to make this work somehow, and doing stuff like that, you know, and like that's I don't know, if not for that eclecticity and that style, I don't think things would have been the same.
Right. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, for me, with punk, I was like, I listened to a lot of like Misfits and more like that. I see your little Misfits light. That's pretty sick. I like that. That's kind of like more the realm of like maybe like Sam Hine. Really anything around Misfits is kind of like where I gravitated towards, like more of the, I don't know, gothic punk maybe. I don't really know.
It's darker. Like, there's just like a darkness to some of that music. You know what I mean? Like, it's in it. It's all like there's you find people who listen to like the Descendants and the Addicts, and they listen to the Misfits as well. But it's also like it's got this like gothy element to it or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of more of when it came to punk is what I kind of went through, and then like it kind of gravitated towards like punk thrash. Like that's I grew up on thrash. That's where
we just know this boy you were just made to eat corn. You were just made to eat corn, dude. You're a corn fan.
I was just made for it, dude. But look, Em, don't think that I just listen to that kind of music because of these guys. I also listen to hip hop and jazz and oldies. I love oldies. That's all I listen to. Me and my girl, we listen to oldies all night, dance to some oldies and stuff. Okay, so don't let these guys.
And I only have eyes for... Come on, Johnny.
You're supposed to be singing to her, not to me.
No, oh man, come on.
Mick, can you get that off the screen?
I got this.
Right on M's face too, huh? What?
What is it?
What happened?
Nothing. You're good. Oh, Mick! I thought Mick said something cut out. I was like, "Oh shit!"
All right, cool. We're back. We're good.
I think we're good.
All right.
You were singing to M. Go ahead.
I was singing to you, fool.
Oh, I thought you were singing to her. I'm sorry. My bad.
But so I don't know. I you got more questions? You have to have something.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I wanted to pick your brain about is like the Twitch side of what you do. How did that come across? Like, when did you get that going? And because you built a pretty good audience, I was, I'm watching the Twitch, the replay, and it's a lot of people interacting, and that's something me and Mick really want to get going. Like, how did you just capture that and make it work for you?
Yeah, you totally should, because you have everything you need to just go ahead and get started.
Right.
And it's really fun, and you can build your community.
So let's talk about that, the community. Like, how did you build that?
Yeah, well, I kind of had an advantage because I already had my Patreon going at that point. So I did have some like core fans that were already online with me, that weren't just at shows. So I was able to start my channel and have, a handful of people, and just gradually, because I've been streaming for a few years, I think 2022 or 2021. I can't remember what year I started.
2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. That's pretty good. 2
to 3 years. Yeah. So over time, it gradually builds and gets better and stronger. But yeah, you might as well start.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Right. I think we should start something like that. And I'm trying to decipher what to do on Twitch. What are some of the things that you do? I noticed that you're covering Tsunami Bomb songs and like covering music. What is some of the other things you do on your stream?
I also do one stream a week is the requests, and then the other stream is where I'm practicing or learning a new song, because I can't read music or tabs. So I'm just like memorizing.
Shout out people who can't read music.
Shout out people who can't read in general.
I am also one of those people.
So yeah, there are times when I do a special stream where I am creating a lyric sheet. Like, I just started a program on there where the people who donate each month, I'll keep track of all the names of the people who donate, and then do a raffle after the month is over.
That's cool.
Give away sorry, did you say something?
No, I just said that's cool. I like that.
And then I'll give away, like, they can request a lyric sheet that I will write out for them. So I've been streaming that a couple times. And sometimes, like on Patreon, I mean, you could easily do whatever you want to on Twitch, but sometimes I do ones where I'm just chatting, just talking to people, sort of like updating them on what's happening with me. I do karaoke streams on Patreon, which I could do on Twitch, but it'd be a little harder with the copyright stuff.
Yeah. That's where we found out on YouTube.
A couple walls you might hit.
Walls you get on YouTube. We get some copyright. Most times the artists are okay with it, but we still get the copyright on there. It's not a strike or anything. So we've been kind of like messing with that. We try to pause the video and go back on and pause it. And I
find it funny just because our whole point of like a lot of the time we try to share smaller artists or like artists that aren't like mainstream just kind of self-produced, self-funded artists, and still still doesn't matter. Yeah. Slipknot and Metallica are the ones, if you play their music, they shut it down. Yeah, it's gone.
Oh yeah,
we played Slipknot. They said nope, can't have that on. And we were doing everything, pausing it, all that stuff. They said nope, don't play that. I'm like, all right, I guess. But that's where we feel like we're finding some of the issues. But is Twitch the same, like when it comes to that copyright stuff?
Twitch is, I think they're a lot less, they strike you. I haven't gotten any strikes so far.
Yeah, but, we heard it. We all heard it, and we're doing it on this end too. The wood was knocked on.
Thank you. So I haven't gotten any so far, but they don't have, it's not like YouTube and it makes sense. Like on YouTube, the original artist can be like, hey, that's my song. And then they get the ad money, right? Like they get any money. You just can't monetize that particular video. But with Twitch, there's no way for the artist to come in and be like, hey, give me some of the money you made during that stream,
Right.
Yeah.
2 people subscribed during my song, so you owe me that money. Like there's no way to separate it out. So it's like you get a strike. If they find you, you will get a strike.
The whole thing with intellectual property still just makes my mind itch. Like it's so crazy to me, the idea of like owning this or that, like not being able to play it, like needing to get paid for every time something is played.
You're talking about fractions of the penny. Like,
it's very weird, man. And there's people out there that are calculating it and doing that, and that's how they make their money. And I don't know. I still, like I said, a lot of that stuff is so beyond me, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies like Sound Exchange and BMI and stuff that calculates that stuff for you. But I know some of it they don't catch everything. But yeah, those are the companies that are capturing all those little bits of streaming and every little thing where your song comes on, everywhere online, and they're capturing that, which is good for you as an artist that you're getting royalties if it catches it. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like, I would love for people to play the Dunce like everywhere. Like, go ahead. I want you to play it. I don't need to make that little, I'm
kind of the same way. Yeah, just play my music. If people hear it, that's cool. Like, I don't care if you play it, just play it.
Right.
What were the bands you said that shut it down? Was it Metallica?
Metallica and Slipknot are the ones. They shut it down every time.
I was going to tell you that that the only 2 that I've had like shut down. There have been 2 times now where I was streaming on YouTube, unlisted stream, for Patreon, doing the DJ stream, where I'm playing records.
Yeah.
And they've shut me down like midstream, like they turned my stream off. 2 bands, and it was Blondie and AC/DC.
Really?
So add those to your list.
That makes me sad about AC/DC. You would think that they were the soul of rock and roll.
Yeah.
And they're not, no, they're an industry just like everybody else. It's crazy.
I thought Prince was going to shut me down, but.
Really? Nice.
Oh, well, that's good.
That was his ghost from beyond the grave, just like blessing you.
You're good. I noticed that anything with Universal, anybody that's like signed to Universal or like close to Universal, those ones are the ones that get shut down.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure it's the label more than
the label.
anything.
Yeah.
I doubt AC/DC has any control over that.
Nope, they don't. They don't have any control over any of their music, which is
So
sad.
what Johnny, I feel what's going on here is that we need to get an exclusive interview with AC/DC to see how they feel about this particular thing.
I'll send a message out.
What do you think?
Yeah, let's send a message out.
Let's
I'll send
All right.
I'll go to their IG, and they probably don't even know how to use IG, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 37 and I don't know how to use IG.
Right? Oh man, that's funny.
You got any questions, Mick? You've been particularly quiet today.
He's all quiet over there.
I'm just a.
He's running the stream. He's doing all the stressful shit.
No,
that's the hard part.
So what do you? I wanted to ask you. So I see you do your live streams. You do a lot of instrumentation stuff. You do like writing. You do like do you when you write? Do you have a DAW that you just record into as you go, or is it like do you just rehearse stuff enough to memory to go into recording sessions?
Yeah. So what I usually do, and I realize I didn't ever answer the question about how Lady Neptune was written.
Yeah, we think
we digress on here all the time.
That
it's
happens
fine.
often.
It happens often.
So to answer your question, Mick, I usually what I do is I record. I'll get one instrument out and I will record it. I'll just start messing around until I have something that I feel like sounds good, and then I will record that. I actually don't record an entire session because I feel like that would be way too much to sift through. But if I have like a little piece of a like a section of melody with a certain keyboard sound, I will go ahead and record that, and I'll kind of file it away. And I piece, like the way that I did Death Dreams was I got enough to just demo myself completely at home, and then I took my demos to the studio, and we finished the songs out from there.
Okay, so you essentially you get it to the point where you write the melody and you're like, how can I sell this? How can I grow this? How can I make this into something that I would want to listen to, that I would want to accidentally stumble upon on a streaming service radio station and be like, what the, like, because like for me, because when I produce, I do that too. I like to like write just like stuff that's just really undeniable, and then just try to make that into something bigger than we never conceived that it could be. So I like that. So with that said, I mean, I've seen you live. I've seen you play piano. I've seen you get down. You have the chops to do it. My thought is, so you don't know how to read music, right?
No.
So
none of us do.
I could because of those piano lessons I took in second grade. I could like kind of put together. I could read something very slow. I can look at a staff and figure out what note it is, but it's like so ridiculously slow.
You can't spot read. Is it called spot reading or whatever? Where it's like
sight reading.
Sight reading. That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah. No, I've never been a guy who reads music. I've actually, in the last couple of years, I slowly have learned a little bit more about all the vocabulary and how to identify this and what all the symbols mean and stuff. And I'm trying to experiment with like writing all the songs that I've written just onto sheet music and just seeing how that goes for me. You know what I mean? It's like seeing what it looks like, what my music looks like on sheet reading or on sheets. And I don't know. I think that's going to be my next like big experiment. Like I've written a lot of music, and I feel like I've done and gotten a lot of the ideas that I had in my head out. What I want to do is kind of start getting better at understanding them musically so that I could express them in different ways and make them better. And, I wrote some music, way back in like 2008 and stuff where I didn't have all the proper recording stuff. And I would love to relive that stuff and make it proper. It's, I don't know, there's something to just having that as an accomplishment, But I don't know. I think it's cool. Johnny, do you read sheet music? Do you know how to read sheet music?
I do not know how to read sheet music. I can read tabs very well, though.
Okay, yeah.
I'm a tab guy.
Tabs are easy.
That's how I started. My brother gave me my brother was the one that first started playing bass for a band called Zombie. And over here locally, they were pretty big locally, but not everywhere else. But he basically, I would wake up in the morning because I didn't go to school. I'll be like, I'm not going today. And then I just hear them blasting like this was the garage and I'd be right here sleeping. And it'd wake me up and I'm like, okay, well, it's time to get up and I'll go watch my brother's band play. And I just always was intrigued about playing bass. And he gave me, I was like, I want to learn. And he's like, okay, cool, I'll teach you. And I said, okay, cool. He showed me how to read tabs. And then he gave me Metallica Master of Puppets and a Slayer tab book. And he said, okay, there you go, learn. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing this myself. And and that's how I started. So it was always tabs for me, really, like never anything else. But I did okay with tabs, you know. I just kind of hear it and feel it.
Honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I've seen Johnny play like as a bassist. He is incredibly mediocre. I would say he's right up the middle. You know, he's
nothing
good
special.
He's good at being just good.
Look, this is the thing with the
I'm
with the
totally
bass.
kidding. He's a great bassist.
With the
he's
bass,
really good.
It's all rhythm, and you just got to be just good enough, and that's it, and you're good. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like I play a
Where no one
7-string or
notices,
anything.
right?
Yeah, just sit in the back. You know, just hit the rhythms. You're good to go.
So that being said, you know, the question at hand here is, as a musician that has built a successful career and has several different, you know, sources of creativity that you get to pump out and get revenue from. Do you think is a necessary thing for any musicians out there to have to learn sheet music and have to learn that specific way of doing music to be successful?
No, definitely not.
Boom.
There's so many musicians who
She said it.
don't know how to read sheet music.
I think that's the beauty of creating music is doing it from. We have arguments all the time, me and these guys, about how I'm very much of like this like DIY mentality. Do it without rules. Do it without structure. Without like this, you know, whole like you need to learn how to do it this way. Learn your own way. You know, be an autodidact about how you create your music, and then you're going to make the most creative and interesting kind of music.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know why you say you have arguments with us because we agree with that.
You guys often talk about like the commercial element of it, of having to please the listener and all that stuff. Right. That's what I mean.
We try to do that too. Yeah, we try to do that too. I agree with that. We do a little bit of both though. You know,
I don't disagree.
We try to please the listeners, you know, and if something sounds good and it's something that we write that's very a little bit more modern, we'll try to recreate that, you know, as a song and push that out. But at the same time, we still do, you know, try to be as creative as we can within that realm. Like our last single, Cup of Song, was very like, I don't know, R&B-ish kind of alternative. And we never wrote something like that, you know? And at the same time, we're like, okay, let's write something like this. The song sounds really cool, the instrumental. So we're like, let's just go dive deep into that and see what comes out, you know? I'm a huge fan of like Faith No More. So like they do that all the time. They have stuff that's very, you know, like poppy out of nowhere, or like, they're trying to grab the listeners, but then they have stuff that's really crazy and creative, like their last album. So I don't like the way you talk about me like that.
I only do it on the basis that Mick calls you a two-dimensional listener, and I trust his opinion. I trust his opinion.
All right, check it out. They call me a two-dimensional listener, but none of these guys listen to Mr. Bungle and like Phantomos and like these crazier bands that literally have no lyrics. So you guys are two-dimensional listeners. I'm like 4 dimensions, you know?
4 dimensions?
4 dimensions, yeah.
4 dimensions. None of us know what that 4th dimension is. But.
Exactly. They don't know. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying here?
No, I honestly, over time, I've learned more about you, Johnny. And if anything, I've learned that you're at least a 2.5 dimension listener. You know what I mean?
I'll take
You're
it.
At least that much.
I'll take
at least that much.
2.5.
Okay.
I'll take 2.5.
I think that's meeting in the literal middle.
Literally, yeah. Let's meet in the middle with that. I'm okay with that.
Okay, I still got quite a few questions.
He's got a lot of questions for you, Em.
Okay.
He's been a fan since he was like 10 years old, 15 years old. How old were you when you first?
I was not 10.
I was like 15. He was like a teenager and crushing over you.
No,
so
okay,
go ahead, ask
I'll be
another
honest.
question.
I would say the first song I heard, involving you was "Swimming in Molasses," and that song was like a buddy gave me a mix of music, and he was like, "Here, try all these bands," right? And I heard that song, and then I was like, "Who's this band?" And then I eventually, kind of did the whole online digging thing, and I found more of your songs, and then I fell in love with 20 Going On. That's like one of my favorite songs of of this style, I guess. It's hard to say favorite songs of all time because you have like 200 of them, Yeah. But it's one of them because it changed like kind of like how I listened to music in a lot of ways. It was one of those first darker songs that I was really like, and then like I got into the lyrics and I was like really into the lyrics. I'm like, all right, I might be a 14-year-old kid, but I know what she's talking about, right?
That's awesome. I love that.
So it was like that was kind of one of my deals with kind of first discovering your band and kind of starting to follow you. But I guess I'll just segue off of me and into do you have a favorite lyric? Do you have a favorite lyric over your career?
Oh,
Ooh,
wow, that's
a good one.
That's a tough question.
It's hard. I'm sure it's hard.
Well, let's see. Well, first off, before I answer that, I want to say I think it's really awesome that you heard "Swimming Through Molasses" first. Like that's that's kind of a deep cut. I feel like, and that's one of my favorites off of that record.
Immediately grabbed me. It was a song that immediately grabbed me, and just I don't know some of the things I would say about that record in particular is like. The intros fucking pop. They hit you. All of those songs like they get you immediately. So that's one thing that's cool. I don't know. I guess that's not really even complimenting you that much because a lot of them are instrumental. But obviously, like I said, your lyrics, your vocals, the uniqueness of how you did your thing, all of that stood out to me very much when I was like, kind of in my years of learning about music and learning about all that stuff. And it kind of, I don't know, like I said, you stood out, so it was very cool.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. To answer your question about a lyric, it's really hard for me to choose a particular lyric, but I can say that there's one that I reused. So that maybe says something.
Yeah.
In the song, I feel like in my music career, the first like real serious song that I wrote was "Not Forever." I don't know if you know that one from Tsunami Bomb. Do you know that one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with the song. I don't know the lyric.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, that's okay. So I had the lyric in that one, "Count on nobody and no one will let you down." And then in my Survival Guide record that I released last year, I sort of referred to that lyric in Sour Sorrow when I say, I told myself so long ago not to count on another soul.
Okay.
So that's kind of a fun.
So you
little,
felt
like,
those were similar, like referencey enough, to. Yeah. No, I think that's really cool. I mean, I've literally had to reuse lyrics in my career, like were literally like it didn't work in a song as good, and I was like, I think it fits better here, and that song is kind of dead in the water or whatever, from an old band or something, so I'll reuse it. So hearing you like, oh yeah, if there's a theme that I attach myself to and I think that works, that's cool. I feel not so strange for doing that.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. So as a writer, as a vocalist, do you write the lyrics first and then build a melody around that, or do you do? Well, this is what I do. I'll record like a melody, whatever hooks to the instrumentation first. And sometimes I'll ad lib some weird vowels and stuff just to kind of like give myself placement and feeling first, and then kind of write lyrics to that, or do you just go straight on?
Basically
lyrics?
Scat. I know I'm relating to him on this, like where you just like scat a melody, you know what I mean? Like deep top did I hate him, and then you just do whatever, and then that's how you get that, and then you write lyrics later.
Yeah. That is kind of what I do. I normally will have I'll create the words and the melody independently of each other, usually is what I'll do. So I'll have a notebook with like free writing, and that's all on one subject that's like, intended to be one song. And I'll write whatever comes to mind about it. And then sometimes some rhymes and patterns will start to emerge from it. But at that point, I don't usually have a melody for it. I will take the music that's roughly done, or at least pieces of music, and then come up with a vocal melody on top of it and do exactly what you're saying. Like I might record something that's just like a Now,
do you have any plans to share some of those little things on Patreon? Because I'm sure people would love to hear that.
Yeah. I actually just updated my Patreon rewards to where now a certain like higher level tier is going to be getting all the demos from the album.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, Anthony's going to be on that for sure. I want to hear that. That's going to be great.
Gonna be.
Yeah, definitely going to be. Yo, that's really cool.
What about you, Johnny? Do you have anything to chime in?
I have a question. That rotary telephone back there, is that actually, can you actually use that?
It's a microphone.
Oh, it's a microphone.
I love
That's cool.
That's so cool.
I've been wanting one of those so bad. Seriously.
It's been converted so that it can be plugged in with a regular quarter-inch cable.
Do you use that on
That's really
Twitch
cool.
at all? Do you ever use that or interact with any of that stuff? Like crazy ways to do it, or you just use your setup?
I haven't used it on Twitch yet. I used it recently for an online battle of the bands, but I do use it for venue shows.
Okay, cool.
That's really,
That's
you
awesome.
use that exact one right there.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Can you make a telephone call on that?
No.
Oh, I was going to give you a phone number to call on that.
That would have been cool.
It ends in 08, but we don't have to do that. That's okay.
Did you dox me right now?
What are you talking about?
He just gave out half of my phone number.
I gave out the last 4 digits of your phone number.
But if you have the area code, you can almost like suss out what my phone number is.
You see how he's getting red, Em? You see how he's getting red? You see that?
They keep on trying to reference this joke that like I had a crush on you, and because
No. You did.
Obviously that's something you've probably dealt with in your career. Like there's like, throughout like, playing shows, you were, this awesome female vocalist, and there's all these dudes that fangirl after you. Of course, right? That's a thing. We can't lie about that,
Nope,
right?
you're the only one, Anthony.
Damn it. Yeah, I mean, I got to embrace that. Then I'm red in the face here. I got nothing to say.
I can't tell at all.
But no, I mean, obviously, I think it's just one of those things that's like, so you're an incredibly impressive person, you're obviously, it's awesome. Everything you do is very awesome, so.
Thank you. Well, I definitely, starting in punk rock, I was, one of the few girls on stage. So yeah.
Oh, I do have this question, honestly, that relates exactly to that. Do you consider yourself a legend or an icon?
No.
No, straight up no. I would say, I think that there's a handful of like female vocalists, especially, if you want to start splitting it up by genre, you come up, I would say, at the top of a lot of lists of, in that movement of punk and stuff, man. So I'm going to at least give you status of icon. Are we all good with that? Let's get the thumbs up. Icon.
Thumbs up on that one.
Mick, Johnny.
That's actually how I wrote out your intro, but we didn't get to it that way, but that's okay.
It's the name of the episode, Icon.
Icon, yeah. Episode name right there.
But yeah, no, I think what you have done is incredible, not only in, like, in your early work with, for the punk rock scene and being, one of those first initial, female vocalists to stab through, the norm of what was going on. And then just be not only that, like, cause to be fair and to kind of be unbiased about things, like, there are female vocalists out there that are bad. You know what I mean? I don't want to be, there's male vocalists out there that are bad. There's female vocalists.
Yeah, everybody.
But you are one of the good ones that, like, really your writing reflected, your talents reflected. And then I say that reflects today in the Survival Guide music you put out.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you've been able to parlay it into doing this, incredible career that you do yourself. It's really impressive. Really impressive.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take this moment to, like, just do some plugs real quick. Em, you can plug all your channels. I'm gonna actually put a little tagline for all your stuff. So plug everything that you want to plug right here, right now. This is perfect timing.
Okay. So I have my Twitch channel where I would love for people to come by. It's twitch.tv/Survival Guide Music. And then I have my Patreon, which is like the real core of people, like the core of people. And that is Survival Guide without vowels. So that's patreon.com/SRVVLGD.
Okay.
And you can find me all over the place with using one of those two handles. I started out with the Survival Guide with no vowels,
yeah,
but that did not work on Twitch. Yeah. So I've I've got a little bit of both going on all over the internet. I also have coming out soon a cocktail book that you will be able to order on my store, which is linked everywhere. And my website has everything, which is srvvlgd.com.
Sweet. Awesome.
Perfect. I don't want to end or nothing. I'm just saying mid episode plugs.
We could clip the plugs right there.
Yeah. So go ahead, Anthony. Let's hit your plugs now. Because we usually do them at the end, but let's do them in the middle. Why not?
Okay, so literally 2 days ago, my band just did a live stream with DM Tower Sessions. Just check out their page. They're going to be reposting that stream. We did an hour-long song, or an hour-long set of songs that we normally 1 hour long song is what we played. No, we did an hour-long set of all our original songs, and then as well as a bunch of cover songs. We covered like the Beastie Boys and the Cranberries, and it was a lot of fun.
That's dope.
So go check us out and help us get more views on that. That's going to help us out. We got a show at the Whiskey on October 27th with Poet and Whispers of Torment and who else? Oh my God, Wise Man Say. And I'm so sorry, there's like 2 more bands that I'm not remembering, but it's going to be a great time. Come out. And then my Patreon is finally live with my comic book stuff that I'm doing.
Hell yeah.
So it's going to be that. It's going to be extra podcasts for the Nerdworthy page that I do. And then the last thing I want to plug is that Nerdworthy page. It's just me and my sister and her, her boyfriend. And we post all kinds of funny 80s and 90s related like humor to cartoons and all that kind of stuff. So, share that, and we're having a lot of fun doing that. And that's pretty much all I got. Mick, go for it.
Oh, yeah. At Mickstradamus on Instagram. You can check it out. I got music solo project. It's on everywhere it's streaming right now. Got a new single out called Lullaby. Go ahead and check that out.
Fucking banger.
Banger. And then the Dunce. We have a new music video out. Go ahead and check it out. Cup of Song is out right now. Also, too, go ahead and follow the Dunce on YouTube and check it out. So,
hell yeah.
Cool. Just follow me on JonnySavag, JonnySavag on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. Check out my band DNG Heavy on IG. We have a new EP coming out probably by the beginning of next year. And then the Dunce, we got an EP coming out this month in about, like 2 weeks or so.
That's right.
Check out Thee Stool Podcast. If you guys are listening right now on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, The Dunce Official. On Instagram and TikTok, The Dunce Official. Mick, is that official on that one too?
The Dunce Official.
No, it's just The Dunce.
The Dunce on TikTok.
Oh.
There's somebody on IG that has The Dunce, so we gotta take that guy out and then take that that tag. But other than that, guys, make sure you check out all that. You can check out past episodes and future episodes of the Stool Podcast on Spotify and all that good stuff. So just check out wherever you listen to podcasts, listen to it, on there. So, but yeah, so let's continue here.
I got more questions armed up. I got like 4 or 5 more questions.
What time are we at, Mick? How long are we in this episode so far? 123.
Oh, cool.
We're
Cool.
okay.
Let's do 2 more questions and let's wrap, dude.
That's
pretty good. An hour and a half, right?
Yeah. Or she says she was good till 6 o'clock, so we got about 2 more
We don't want
hours.
to press her for time.
No, that's okay. She's okay with it. We're gonna go 4 more hours. No, just kidding. No, we'll go a little bit more. I did want to listen to the rest of her song, but let's go to you. You said you had a question, Anthony. Go ahead. Anthony has a lot of questions. The thing with M is this guy talks a lot.
I just wanted to.
His
You're gonna
nickname,
play me like that.
Real M. For real, his nickname though, we call him Ranthony.
Because if what I have to say is not guided by something, then I will just tangentize for whatever, for however long. But okay, so let's just crack into this because we're already talking about promotion and stuff. But what's your your releasing process like for the most part? Like when it comes to writing a record, right? Let's say you do all of the creating, all of the writing, all of that stuff. You get the album art, all of that's done. Do you have a lot of space and like time in between when you make something and then you release it, or do you kind of fly by the seat of your pants and just kind of go for it?
It's kind of been different from release to release. The last one, the Death Dreams album, came out on Double Helix Records. So, I wasn't fully, I was working on it with them, like in tandem, planning everything. And we had a publicist who was the one who kind of gave us guidelines, I guess, or suggestions on like, well, if the record is done by this date, we want this amount of time to be able to promote it efficiently. And you don't want to do it during this time of the year because, like they said, not to do it in summer because that's when it's like kind of a not normal type of the year, not normal life. Like you're not living your normal life for some people, like whether you're a parent or a kid or a teen or whatever, like summer is when people are vacationing and traveling.
Yeah. They're not thinking about new music or something like that. Yeah, I'm sure that's like the idea.
Yeah, unless it's like a very summertime song.
Yeah.
And you don't want to release during the holidays because people are distracted by that a lot. So we kind of based everything off of that, off of their suggestions, and if a release that I'm on is on a label, then that is usually what ends up happening. It's like there's a professional who has ideas about what they think is the best way to time a release. So I personally don't really have like a good idea of how to do that.
Follow up to that. Does that frustrate you a little bit? Just being like, I have all this finished material, like I want to get it out, and then you have to schedule it, or
yeah, for sure. I mean, especially Death Dreams, it was recorded and mixed at the end in like November 2022, and it didn't come out until October of last year. So it took almost a year for that record to come out because of the timing of like, well, it's too soon. Now we're in holidays, but spring is too soon, and so it had to be in fall. Yeah, it was really. I didn't like that, but I am also patient, so it was okay.
What are some of the independent releases you've done? Would you say that process was smoother, or I don't know, how would you take that? Like something where it's like you just did something and just put it out.
Yeah, I mean, there was less coverage. They were less professionally done.
Yeah,
so there was definitely, less visibility, which I think is what we all want as musicians. I think that's where it's like a give and take. It would feel better to release the music faster, which is definitely what I've done in the past with my covers album and stuff. I just put it out there, but it just doesn't. Not as many people end up hearing it ever.
Yeah.
So. In a lot of ways,
I think that's incredibly insightful. I mean, I think that we cracked into something there. We talk a lot of music business on this podcast, as much as we joke and stuff, but we like to crack into that and figure out, as a burgeoning artist or an artist that's, just trying to build the whole thing from the ground up, what are the best routes of doing it? And sometimes figuring out how to compete with the big dogs, is it's sort of would you guys say that's the purpose of this podcast, how to compete with the big dogs?
No, not at all. No. I mean, look at the way I see it is, I mean, I get what you're saying, Emily. It's better to put stuff out right here, right now. It does feel good. There's a good feeling that comes from just like, I got this done, I'm gonna show you guys. You know what I mean? Versus the amount of effort put into the branding behind an album. You know what I mean? That, maybe an outside source would see differently than you would, which is, I mean, there's value in that too. Where it's just like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. You know what I mean? As far as like artwork goes too, do you do your own artwork? I mean, how does that go about?
Yes, I have been. Well, so for Death Dreams, I did do the artwork because it was a photo that I took that really just I just felt strongly about. But for my covers albums that I released before that, and I released a 7-inch, I asked a friend. I have a friend who's an artist here in San Antonio, and asked him to do the artwork for me. So it kind of depends on the release and what kind of, if I have any sort of vision for it, because I can do graphic design stuff, but it's not my forte.
It's that self-inflicted DIY. I think that should be a new term, is SIDIY, self-inflicted. Literally, you have to do it out of necessity. Yeah. I've done all of that, where you have to make lyric videos, or you have to make a video for yourself or whatever. I've tried all of the DIY routes, of putting out music, and some of them have worked out and some of them haven't. And I would say that's like, that's kind of like I would say a fun part of being an artist to a degree, as long as you take it with like a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Is because we all of us have like 9-to-5 jobs that that we pay our rent with and whatnot. But I do music like on the side as like a as a thing that is just a release. It makes me feel good, and I don't put this onus on it to be how I make my money. And it kind of, it's a kind of a freeing thing, because then I just get to do whatever the hell I want, and then like I put it out there, and when it goes well, it's super sick. And then, like if it doesn't go well, then I understand. I'm like, okay, well, I even had doubts about this thing or that thing, but, but if I do something that I had faith in and it goes well, I'm like, okay, cool. That all adds up and it feels good. I think there should be more of that in the artistic, scene, and the creative scene, is just creating music for not necessarily for revenue or whatever, but just to kind of express yourself, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's one of the main things that we do as musicians, is we want to express ourselves, and in our music and like, you know, live performances and how the record sounds, you know. So I agree with that. I like that, you know, and I know me and this guy go.
We're finally gonna finally start to agree, dude.
Yeah, a little bit.
Season 2, the Stool Podcast, the agreement era, you know?
Right. Yeah, because with the Dunce, we are very about like, yo, we're trying to make money off of this at the same time as write what we want to write, but you know, we want to, you know, be successful and be able to supplement our, you know, job incomes like for the music, you know, and for this, the podcast, like, I think that is one thing that's very important to us that we're, you know, really trying to drive and keep it going, you know? So yeah, it's been a lot of work in progress, but, it'll get there, I think. You know, that's
honestly,
why
today I would say went off without a single hitch.
Not one.
Right? Everybody?
Yeah, we weren't trying to fix everything for the past 2 hours before you came on at all.
No, I think that's a good spot to wrap, just to make sure we don't have any more issues and everything. But this has been incredible. This is honestly a highlight of my whole month. This is a great birthday. Like I said, we are October babies, so my birthday is a couple days from now. He's got a birthday. We will definitely plug your book and whatever drink it is, the
blood perfume.
Blood perfume.
Yep.
Sorry, I have a lot going on here up here right now.
Okay.
But we will make that on the podcast, I think.
We'll definitely. So every time you plug something, I'm going to put a little link up top, like as best as I can, into the video, all that stuff. You're good.
I was thinking you guys did a way better job plugging yourselves than I did. When you did the plugs,
you want to do a take two? You have every right to do a take two.
Yeah, you can go ahead and plug some more stuff if you want.
If you need to fill, you know, plug everything that you want to share.
Well, I mean, I guess. Well, if you're gonna do, you know, if you're gonna link some stuff,
of course, then
I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah,
but I did. You know what? I did have one thing that I thought you might be interested in.
Absolutely,
because it is very current for me right now. I mean, because you talk about like the industry and stuff. I this year joined the Recording Academy, and I'm a voting Grammy member.
Oh wow.
The voting is like starting right now.
Oh, okay. Oh man.
So how does that work? Let's talk a little bit about that real quick. How did you crack into
that?
Yeah, I mean, well, so this is the first time that I've been a voting member, so I don't exactly know how it's going to work, but I just got the ballot, and it's like full. I submitted Survival Guide, which I don't really expect. I mean, the list is so long, and there's so many famous, huge artists on it, obviously. But as a voting member, I have a few weeks to like listen to everything.
Oh wow! And
it's the way that the voting works is that there's only 2 rounds. So it's like starting, they make everyone vote on like every single submission that got sent, and then that gets narrowed down to like the top 5 artists or however many in each category, which I think is kind of crazy.
Oh, okay. So how do we go about becoming a part of that? Because that's interesting.
Oh, I think we are a long stretch from getting to that place.
No. We just do it. Who cares?
You just need to be. I think I can't remember exactly what the requirements are, but you basically need to have a release within a certain amount of time. Like you have to have. Yeah, I don't think it's extremely difficult to get in. You basically need to prove in a few ways that you are a serious musician.
Okay.
And then
I think you guys can do that for sure.
have to get recommendations. That I think maybe is the hardest part.
Oh, okay, got you. So we got you for recommendation, yeah?
Yes.
She's like, it may be my first year, but I will totally put all of my reputation on the line for you guys. But yeah, that's awesome. That is so cool. What made you want to do that? Like, what made you think about, you know?
I just, so I had a friend who was part of the Academy a while back, and I had gone to a few different events. That was in San Francisco, and it was super cool. It was like they had, I don't know what it's going to be like here in San Antonio, because this branch is based in Austin. So I'll have to travel up to Austin to go to events, and I don't know how many they're going to have. But in San Francisco, it was like they would have, like one time I got to see an acoustic set of Gloria Gaynor, who did I Will Survive.
Oh my God.
That's really cool.
That's epic.
She just came and did a performance for the Grammy Association, and you know, and it's like at a venue, and everyone's there hanging out. And so I just met a bunch of other musicians in the area, and that's one thing that I want to do more of, you know, as a professional musician. And I, having lived in California most of my life, and now I'm in Texas, it's like, well, maybe I should try after the album comes out, and I can for sure prove that I'm a musician. That
sounds to me like pure credentials. Those are credentials. Oh yeah. I help vote for the Grammys. You don't even have to tell me that it's your first year. None of those details. Nothing like that. If you tell me that, like, you're carrying an air of legitimacy that just carries you.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, I did have to prove it to them.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, but you did. You did prove it to them. So, you know, you got to prove. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So one last question. One final question. Why did you leave California, and why is Texas way better than California?
Tell us why you're better than us now.
That was my question.
Are you from Texas?
No. I'm actually from California. I'm born and raised here, but I definitely could understand fleeing from here.
Yeah, I mean, I just wondered, because there's a lot of Texas pride. It's like people who are from here, that's in their soul.
No. I mean, I'm from Southern California. I've literally only, you know, traveled outside a couple times to tour and this and that. But I do love Southern California. It's crazy. It is crazy.
It's definitely crazy.
It's crazy nowadays.
Taxes are crazy.
It's crazy expensive. It's crazy overcrowded. It's wild right now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, I left California because of my husband's job. So it really didn't have that much to do with me and my situation. And he is not from San Antonio, but from Texas. Like, he's a native Texan.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of like, we've been out in California, you know, near my family for a long time. So
it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
It's a little trade-off. Yeah. We did the 5+ years this way. Let's do the other 5+ that way, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I do, sorry, did you have a question, Mick?
No. Well, yeah, I was going to say, how do you like the music scene over there compared to over here? Because I mean, you know, you do a lot more local shows over there, right? I'm assuming.
I need to do more. I haven't fully, I mean, especially with, COVID and everything, like, I have not fully immersed myself in this scene, I feel like. And San Antonio in particular is very like metal. It's like a metal city.
Nice.
Yeah, I figured.
I kind of knew that already, but I didn't know that it was like really, I got it just from touring here and being here multiple times beforehand. I kind of got that sense, but it's like official. Like, everyone's like, yeah, we all, like, people here grew up, their parents listened to metal, so they listen to metal. So it's like really interesting in that way to me.
Have you considered doing the same kind of music that you play, but just doing some face paint? You know, maybe that might just change the whole.
A couple of gutturals and a couple deep growls and stuff. I think you might have something.
That would be a sight for sure. But I mean, I'm spent. I think I got through most of what I have here. I mean, oh yeah, how about this one? I would say, okay, as a person who's doing this all very independently, you've obviously built, you know, through a lot of hard work and a lot of different avenues, some success. Would you have any sort of advice for people trying to do the same thing?
Oh man. I guess I feel like my best advice would just be to try different things, try different ways, and try doing the things that interest you and just see what happens. I mean, it's kind of seems to be the mantra already around here, right?
Right.
Anthony, that's kind of like what you've already said.
Yeah, I've said it. I talk ad nauseum. What was it? Ranthony, you call me? Oh yeah, that's right. No, I talk about that all the time, yeah.
I literally have him in my phone as Ranthony because that's how I see him, because he rants on.
Yep.
But it's fine. I like him for that.
Ranting about being original and just trying.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've gotten to a couple conversations.
I do good rants. They're good rants. They're rants with a purpose. I promise.
He challenges me and Mick a lot in the ways that we think. You know, we have a lot of similarities, definitely, but we try to pertain to our audience a little bit more, you know, and stuff like that. And Anthony's more on the side of right for you only, and I get that. I totally get that side too. So that's how I've always been. But just I'm like, you know, I see the opportunity to become a musician for life and just writing the music that I want to write, but also pertaining to the outside a little bit, you know? And so I get both sides.
The listener, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle in that way. Like if we're talking about songwriting and music, it's like I would rather, like I am going to write what I want to write, but I also want it to be listenable, you know? Like I want it to be something that people are going to enjoy and appreciate.
But I would say that's like literally the crux of the idea of the experimentation of writing music is like, is this listenable? Like, is this something like I believe in it? I believe in it, but does it cross that threshold of a thing that when other people hear it for the first time, they're going to be like, oh, that's tight. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I live, is where it's like, you know, I experiment so much. I write so much where it's like, I've gotten to the point where it's like, I know it's like, oh yeah, this is just for me. I'm George Clooney. I'll make your Ocean's 11, you know, so I can make the money off of the single or whatever. And then I'll make, you know, what is it? The Men Who Stare at Goats. You know, I'll make my indie bullshit, you know. That's kind of where I live, is like, I think there's a good compromise to be made. Try to, you know, sell it to a listener and get it to people but also just try to get the listener to compromise a little bit on their end too, to get you. To
get what you're doing. Yeah, I get that too. That's what me and Mick do. I mean, a lot of our stuff is very experimental. So, you know, we're like, hey, we're challenging you, like, to listen. If you like us, like, try to listen to this and check out what this is, because it's weird. I'm letting you know right now, it's strange, it's different, but at the same time, we want, you know, to grab both, both audiences.
Challenge yourself. Just challenge yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
It's all about challenging yourself as a musician, for sure.
Yes.
Hell yeah! I think
I like
is that our Jerry Springer final thought? Challenge yourself.
Yeah, final thought.
That's our final thought.
Challenge yourself.
Challenge
guys.
yourself.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
This was amazing. This was great. What a great interview. This was awesome. You were incredibly insightful and informative. This was so cool.
Oh, good. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
No, thank you. Agent M, a.k.a. Thank you so much for just coming on the podcast and talking with us. I know we're a little bit all over the place, and we like to ask questions, and we try to do all these things, you know. So I appreciate you being patient with us and having fun with us here today. I know it started off a little rocky, but we got it going.
Are we having to edit out more?
It worked out really good. We don't have to edit out nothing, honestly. I like to go raw on the videos. Right. Just send them out, you know. But
let the world see behind how the sausage is made.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with that?
You know, I mean, the sausage part, I guess.
Yeah.
This is a podcast. There should be no sausage involved.
Right. Honestly. There should be no food involved. Speaking of food, I'm hungry.
Right. All right. So cool. We'll wrap it up on that. I'll do the outro. Mick, you got anything else to say?
I'm good. We're just
cool.
So just appreciate you guys listening to us. Em, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We appreciate you so very much. Definitely want to do a round 2 one day, we can get in more depth into some more music. We can listen to more music and share more music. We would love that.
For sure.
And just thank you very much for coming on, Anthony.
So this has been Thee Stool Podcast. Thank you again to Emily Whitehurst, Agent M, legend, icon, admitted on this podcast. We have proof. She said it. She knows her icon status.
Did I say it?
We'll go over the tape later. I think I'm not sure. We said a lot of stuff on here, but thank you guys again for watching and listening. This has been a blast. I am Anthony. That's Johnny. That's Mick. This has been Thee Stool. We love you. Bye.
Thank you very much.